Picture this moment in the Black Sea night. Ukrainian operators strike hard and take out a Russian S-400 launcher along with its radar companion in occupied Crimea. The system that Moscow once boasted could guard the skies like an iron dome now sits as twisted metal and smoke. This single hit carries weight far beyond the blast radius and starts shifting pieces on the map in ways that matter for everyone watching. Russia built these S-400 batteries as shields around key assets from airfields to command posts and fuel depots. Each battery forms part of a layered network designed to spot incoming threats early and knock them down before they reach sensitive targets. When Ukrainian forces punch holes in that network, the protection thins out in noticeable ways. Drones and longer-range systems gain paths they lacked before. Think of it as clearing brush from a trail so travelers move faster and deeper into the woods. Those paths matter because Ukraine keeps refining tools like the flaming missile systems and swarms of attack drones built for distance. With one less S-400 radar feeding data to the defense grid, Russian operators lose early warning time. Ukrainian teams spot opportunities to send assets toward oil refineries deep in Russian territory or toward air bases that launch strikes against Ukrainian cities. The result looks like expanded reach and more frequent successful arrivals at targets once considered tucked away safely. Geopolitically, this changes calculations in capitals from Washington to Beijing and back to European centers. Allies see Ukraine demonstrating ingenuity with limited resources and delivering blows to equipment Russia spent years and billions to develop. Partners grow more willing to share technology and intelligence because the results speak in real time. Skeptics who question the staying power of Ukrainian innovation watch videos of precision strikes and adjust their assessments upward. The conflict reminds observers that modern wars reward adaptability over sheer size of arsenal. Moscow faces pressure to redistribute remaining air defense units. Commanders pull systems from one region to cover another, and that leaves gaps elsewhere. Russian forces guard the capital with extra layers, while fronts and rear supply areas compete for coverage. Ukrainian planners study these shifts and probe the weaker spots. The cycle accelerates as each successful strike encourages the next wave of planning. Humor me for a second here. Russia marketed the S-400 as unbeatable to export customers around the world. Now footage shows Ukrainian drones turning expensive launchers into scrap, while the sales pitch collects dust. The openings created by these strikes extend to sites Russia protects with special care. Strategic bomber bases sit farther from the front yet become reachable when air defense radars go dark or get overwhelmed. Energy infrastructure that feeds both civilian needs and military logistics feels the heat from incoming drones. Command nodes and ammunition storage areas once shielded by overlapping coverage now require constant movement or extra guards that stretch resources thinner. Ukrainian forces turn this into a campaign of systematic pressure rather than one-off lucky shots. This pressure builds tension at the highest levels in the Kremlin. Russian leaders see their prized defensive assets challenged in ways that force tough choices. Tactical nuclear options linger in the background as a deterrent card some voices mention when conventional tools show strain. The risk climbs because each lost S-400 battery shrinks the buffer Moscow relies on to project strength without escalation. Leaders weigh the optics of nuclear signaling against the reality of continued losses and the chance that restraint invites more Ukrainian boldness. Neighbors in Europe watch this dynamic closely. Countries near the conflict zone review their own defense postures and accelerate plans for additional air protection and long-range strike capabilities. Energy markets twitch when Russian refineries or ports appear on target lists because supply disruptions ripple outward. Global powers balance support for Ukraine with efforts to prevent any slide toward wider confrontation. The destruction of these systems feeds into broader talks about security guarantees and future arrangements in the region. Ukraine gains momentum in the information space too. Videos from the strikes circulate widely and boost morale at home while showing partners tangible progress. Young engineers and operators in Ukraine see their work making a difference and pour more creativity into next-generation systems. The talent pool grows as success attracts talent and funding. This human element proves as important as the hardware because innovation cycles shorten when victories validate the approach. Russian society absorbs the news through official channels that downplay the hits, yet satellite images and independent checks tell another story. Families near targeted areas feel the proximity of conflict creeping closer, and that stirs quiet conversations about costs and duration. Economic strain mounts when repair and replacement budgets compete with other priorities inside a system already under sanctions pressure. The geopolitical ripple touches alliances as well. NATO members coordinate more openly on intelligence sharing and technology transfers that help Ukraine maintain the edge in drone and missile domains. Asian partners monitor how export-dependent Russia handles these setbacks and adjust their engagement levels accordingly. Even countries traditionally aligned with Moscow start asking harder questions about reliability of supplied equipment when Ukrainian forces consistently find ways through. Each S-400 loss opens corridors for flaming systems to fly farther and strike with effect. Drones follow those same paths and multiply the impact across a wider map. Russian commanders scramble to patch the holes, yet the pace of Ukrainian operations keeps them on the defensive. This dynamic raises the stakes because desperation can lead to unpredictable moves, including hints toward tactical nuclear posturing aimed at freezing the battlefield. Observers note how Ukraine plays a patient game of attrition against high-value targets. They avoid wasteful frontal assaults and focus instead on assets that multiply Russian difficulties. The strategy yields results measured in destroyed radars, reduced launch capacity, and expanded operational freedom for Ukrainian forces. International analysts track the pattern and see parallels to past conflicts where technological adaptation shifted balances of power. The human stories behind these operations deserve mention too. Operators spend long hours planning routes, evading electronic jamming, and timing strikes for maximum surprise. Their success against sophisticated Russian systems highlights training and resolve that turn underdog status into an advantage. Viewers of the footage catch glimpses of professionalism mixed with the grit needed to operate in contested spaces. Looking ahead, this pattern suggests continued evolution in the conflict. Ukraine pushes boundaries with domestic production and creative tactics, while Russia reallocates defenses and considers escalation options. The world watches because outcomes here influence stability in other regions where similar defense technologies feature prominently. Energy prices, security pacts, and diplomatic maneuvers all connect back to these strikes on the ground and in the skies over Crimea and beyond. The latest hit in Crimea adds another chapter to this ongoing story. Smoke rises from the wreckage and planners on both sides update their maps. Corridors widen for new strikes. Tension simmers with the knowledge that each success carries the potential to alter risk calculations at the strategic level. The coming weeks will show how leaders respond to these shifting realities and how the broader community of nations positions itself amid the uncertainty. This remains a fluid situation with new developments possible at any hour. Stay tuned as events unfold.